we think the market is ready for that. Africa is actually waiting for electric buses as much as Europe has done in the recent past. We've seen big development in Europe in terms of electric buses, obviously supported also by some government subsidies, but also since we are mindful about the climate change, about the CO2 footprint, and we see there is a tipping point also in terms of operational costs. The battery technology has improved, the electronic is helping us, and so that we are actually feel we can shift to the next gear, even though with an electric bus there are no gears. But we can shift to the next gear and bring that technology to Africa. And I think for us it was of utmost importance that we're not just taking a fully developed vehicle in Europe and ship it over here to South Africa, but we're taking the local needs into consideration, and we embracing what is really required to operate vehicles here. Road conditions are different, commuter buses are operating in very different conditions in rural areas as much as in cities. Transport capacity is a topic, maximum seating capacity. So quite different requirements than you have in low floor buses in Europe. And we wanted to bring this bus to South Africa so that it suits the needs of this country, of these operations.
And MAN was pivotal in the discovery of the diesel engine. Is it kind of in fitting with the brand that you're at the head of this game?
No, we have a long history, right? Rudolf Diesel, our ancestor, one of our grandfathers, has created a diesel engine, to an extent we have mastered the technology further and further and further up to the current Euro 6 standards. But we also know that the CO2 emissions are adding to the climate change, and also in South Africa recently we've seen some weather conditions which were unusual for South Africa, and have done huge damage to the public, and hence I think as a responsible company we will also have to take adequate steps. And yes, it is about transforming into a new area, and it takes effort. But MAN always has been an engineering-driven company, right? And it's in the hearts of the engineers to say there is something I need to find a solution to, and the solution in this regard is the electrification. And as the market leader here in South Africa, it was for us in the bus segment, it was for us important to again lead the pack and show our capabilities, and hence we are very happy to actually being able to hand over the first vehicle for a field test to Golden Arrow transport bus services.
Well, what do you think has made MAN such a powerhouse in busing in South Africa for so many years now?
I think it's probably three components. First of all, we have developed vehicles really specifically for that market. So it's not a copy-paste, it is a vehicle which is suiting the African markets. That's the first thing. The second thing is we are the only manufacturer in Africa and South Africa who are producing a complete vehicle. We are not just producing a chassis and then partnering with a bodybuilder and selling a combination, but we are offering a one-hand solution. And thirdly, you need a strong team in South Africa supporting this vehicle. Because selling a vehicle is one thing, supporting the vehicle over a lifetime, supporting a vehicle over 18 months, providing with customer service, with spare parts, with service, with breakdown assist, with everything our customers are asking for, with finance, with repair and maintenance contracts, with a complete product offering, up to taking vehicles also back and selling them a second time in the market, has led to that market position, to this premium market position. And just recently, one of our operators said to me, you know, the beauty with an MAN is, it doesn't matter how old it is, it doesn't matter how much mileage it's got, it doesn't matter even how much damage it is. For an MAN, you will always find a buyer. And if you have achieved that level, then you really have done well. And it's to an extent, it's actually a burden, because everyone is expecting you to stay on that level. I'm very fortunate having a very strong team around me, with the engineering department, with the production team, both in our Pinetown plant and our Olifantsfontein plant, with our customer service management team, with our sales team, with the entire team supporting that and lifting it to the next level.
And besides Golden Arrow, who are the key marketplace you're targeting for this bus in years to come?
Now, all our products are, as we have seen also for the European market, are usually set up in a modular system. So the majority of the market will remain in South Africa the commuter bus. So that usually counts for about 80% of the market, of the bus market. Here and there, we, however, have seen also in the past city bus driven operation, where other requirements with in ICE terms, with rear engines, so with a raised floor, with a lower seating capacity, more standing capacity, faster passenger flow. Such kind of vehicles can be our chassis can cater for. So we can adapt this chassis, and the very same chassis is also developed on a low entry version. So we have various variants to that chassis as well, which will allow us to look into other market segments as well.
And feedback from your European clients who've had the bus for some time now?
You know, MAN hasn't been the first one in the European market introducing electric buses. So unlike here in South Africa, in Europe, we have been seen as rather being slow acting. The reason for that for us was not that we didn't want to be earlier. The reason for us was that we felt there will be a sweet spot. There will be the sweet spot where the battery technology gives us sufficient range, gives us sufficient durability and lifetime, so that it becomes a real profitable business case for our operators. Because as our partner Golden Arrow has pointed out today, it has to be a business case. Our customers do not buy the vehicle since they want to own it as a toy, as a gadget. They're buying it since it's an investment good. This machine will have to bring revenue to them, will have to be profitable. And when starting in Europe, we were very low in the market share, but this year we're seeing that after a rather slow start, we are this year number 2 in the registration in Europe with our MAN lines CTE range from a 10 meter over 12 meter up to an 80 meter articulated. And it proves that we have waited for the right sweet spot, and the feedback from the customers is really very, very positive. And I said that we are delivering this year more than 800 vehicles in Europe.
And how do your key partners within the bigger company help to push the development of these buses?
Battery technology is something which is, on the one side, also requiring some adaptation to the various operations. So you cannot just use a battery from a passenger car and move it over to a commercial vehicle. However, the basic cell can be used across all brands. So here obviously the knowledge, the sharing of the knowledge amongst the entire VW group, and in particular within the Traton group, with our sister brands in the Traton group, is helping us a lot in making it viable. Let's not forget, from an investment point of view, this is a very difficult time for automotive manufacturers. On the one side, we are pushed by legislation to invest into yet even cleaner combustion engine technology, and on the other side, we have to invest also into green technology. So that is almost a double investment into the same vehicle type, because it's not that there are more buyers out there. The number of buyers are still the same. Same here. We are still developing and enhancing our current product portfolio for South Africa, whilst at the same time investing into electrification of the very same portfolio. And to take this burden, or to be able to absorb that cost, it's only possible if you find scale effects with others. And hence, the cooperation within the group is of utmost importance.
And MAN is putting a big focus on EV. Where do you see the future of the diesel engine going?
We will see diesel engines for quite a long time still. Why is it so? You will always have operations where it will become difficult having electric components. Let's, for example, go into, let me translate it a bit differently, because I think it fits quite well into the South African history. Our machinery is part of exploring something new, right? So we can call ourselves being part of the four-trackers, right? The four-trackers were those who were then setting up the infrastructure. To run electric vehicles, you need infrastructure. So, in a sense, until you have set up all the infrastructure, we always need some four-trackers to be able to run that business going forward and develop it. So, the combustion engine will be there for some time. However, at the same time, and having said that, we have to put, as humanity, we have to put all efforts into reducing our carbon footprint. And that is one of our big goals within MAN. This shows us that over time, combustion engines probably will steadily decrease, and when exactly, no one knows, but at one day it probably will come to a standstill.
Are you seeing every year batteries getting more range, and secondly, are they getting more recyclable as we get more knowledge?
Both of that is very important. So, whereas if you look at the electric engines is hasn't got the same importance than the combustion engine had in a current combustion engine driven vehicle. The heart of electric vehicle is the battery. So battery and development of battery and battery technology is really fast improving. So we will see some major steps going forward, and hence, if we have today's operations where we say it's not possible operating them with batteries, in 10 years' time, the world might look completely different. Exactly. So there is development going into that. And yes, if you're talking about sustainability, it's not enough to talk about we driving with green energy and thereafter we have lots of batteries standing in the corner and no one knows what to do with it. It has to be taken into consideration to have a 360-degree view on it, also how to recycle batteries. That is definitely going to be the next step. What we are currently seeing concern with some of our operators, however, is also that they are using second-hand batteries as energy storage, because as you heard today, also our customers saying some of the vehicles, even in the commuter business where you have those non-peak operations during the day and you can use solar energy to charge, some of the recharging has to be done throughout the night, and there we don't have sunshine, and there might also be an option using those batteries. We still have some life in them, right? For the storage of energy which you gather during the day to just pass it on during nighttime and charging other batteries with that.
And you also mentioned you look at sustainability of where you source the lithium from in the first place.
Absolutely. So it is we are fully committed to transform MAN in a fully sustainable company. The first CO2-free plant in terms of CO2 footprint in the entire network within MAN, and probably the first one in the automotive sector in this country was our Pinetown plant. And that is already some years back when we actually invested that much into the Pinetown plant. So it was the first plant within the MAN network, but also the first one here in South Africa in the automotive industry. And it shows that we really taking it serious, and we are investing further into technologies to make our business more sustainable.
And you see Africa as a key growth area for your business, obviously.
As we said today, already in the 60s we've been here in Africa with MAN and manufacturing vehicles here, and it's always been a strong foothold within our business, and we want to continue in that path. It's not always an easy environment. It's quite demanding for our vehicles. It's quite demanding for an operation. The density of trucks in terms of the size of the country is not the same than in Europe. So you actually have to cover more area with a lower vehicle density in these areas. But this is all challenges, and we are there to take on those challenges and living on those challenges. And we continue to invest into Africa, like with this vehicle, and we believe that this country, this region, has a great future.
Thanks for your time, sir.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.